In the COVID-19 era, we have learned how social distancing imposes as the most critical requirement to keep everyone safe. And the key to achieving this in limited public spaces lies in the ability to have a real-time overview of how crowded hotspots are, so that appropriate steps can be taken when an area gets too busy. This is indeed the main purpose of NoBis, a crowd monitoring service that allows citizens to monitor in real time the crowdedness level of public and private places and adapt their mobility accordingly. Unlike other crowd monitoring solutions that use expensive NFC-based or wearable technologies, NoBis simply requires the installation of printable posters to display QR codes, thus imposing as a cost-free solution accessible to everyone. Also, NoBis design is lean and clear, and visitors don't need to create an account to use its functionalities, hence imposing as an accessible, ready-to-use, easy-to-deploy solution also for elderly adopters, who represent the most fragile and sensitive category of people that will benefit most from NoBis services. Most importantly, NoBis does not use GPS, Wi-Fi or Bluetooth tracking and lets its users control when to share data, thereby promoting privacy and data protection. Now, let's take a look at how NoBis works.
NoBis is based on the technology of the QR code. The QR code is displayed near the entrance and the exit of public places to be monitored. When framing the QR codes with a smartphone, the users will perform check-in and check-out operations at these venues. At the checkout, the system also prompts a survey that the user may optionally decide to respond to by indicating the perceived crowd level for the place they just left. This information may be used to verify whether NoBis data derived from check-in and check-out operations match the user's feedback. It is important to highlight that the QR-based nature of NoBis allows users to safely complete their check-in and check-out operations with no contact with physical devices like touchscreens or buttons, thereby limiting the potential spread of the virus compared to other applications in which visitors have to use their hands to tap the screen. By visiting the NoBis website, users can then access a map displaying all the locations supporting the NoBis initiative and their respective crowd levels. NoBis is being developed while paying attention to the user privacy, and that's why we do not show the actual number of visitors in a certain place, but a color that identifies the index of crowdedness, low, medium, or high, respectively, of the corresponding places. This index is computed in real time by an algorithm based on the ratio between the number of check-in operations assessed through NoBis and the nominal capacity of the place, as for the COVID-19 safety regulations. We expect this information to bias the user's mobility decisions, who will reasonably decide to move towards the less crowded locations. From a technical point of view, NoBis Architecture consists of a database management system and an application that acts as a web server and endpoint for the system REST API. NoBis implements three types of entities. The user is the one who scans the QR codes and accesses the NoBis website to monitor the crowd map. The referent is the one who can create new buildings and places to be monitored, and download the corresponding QR codes to be deployed. Also, the referent can inspect the actual number of visitors who checked in at the places they created, as well as any possible problem that the users may have reported. The admin is the one who manages the whole system and can enable the reference.
NoBis has been deployed, tried and tested at the Department of Information Engineering of the University of Padua between September and October 2020 by monitoring the crowdedness level of laboratories continuously accessed by researchers. The results of this preliminary testing phase have already proven NoBis to be effective, showing that people like the service and, most importantly, use the information it makes available to regulate their visits to the lab. We are currently realizing a second testing phase in specific places in a small Italian town to showcase the NoBis service across strategic points in the city, such as municipal and administrative offices, community and healthcare centers. The final objective is to help manage crowds and ensure that safety guidelines are met. NoBis links the concept of us, NoBis actually means us in Latin language, to increase the sense of community against COVID-19.
NoBis provides an anonymous, privacy-compliant, easy-to-use, ready-to-deploy and totally free service, and we hope it could represent a promising tool in the fight against the spreading of the pandemic.